welcome to Rebootleggers. This is episode 13. I'm your
Episode
host.
13.
I'm your host, Scotto and Frank Sarah.
Our shows is old enough to go get a 6-pack for us at the corner store.
Not true. Our show is weeks old, not years. And even if
but it's a podcast week, so it's like 4 people years.
Okay, so our show is 52 years old.
Definitely old enough to go get a 6-pack for the old man. Even keep the change.
Old man, yeah.
This is a show where we talk about TV shows. We talk about TV shows that don't exist. We talk about TV shows that might exist.
Yeah, and
this week we're bringing you something special.
A very special episode where we call it. What do we call it, Frank?
We're calling our new sub series. Our sub category. I'm saying sub too much.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing a thing we call Series CPR. We'll take, instead of bringing you a shiny new product, we'll be talking about an existing show and how we can take the reins and really give it new life.
Yeah, a show that's currently running but really dying, and really just resuscitate it in such a way that it is successful again.
Just get all the compressions. Get it up in there.
Yep, get them right up in there.
All right, so another first for the show, Scott. We got our first suggestion via tweet.
Oh, no way.
Yep. So this week, via suggestion from Twitter user Scott Moen. Thank you, Scott Moen. At Scott Moen on Twitter. We'll be performing Series CPR on The Vampire Diaries.
Oh, thank you, Scott Moen.
Wherever you are.
Whoever you are. This is... Now, Frank, have you seen The Vampire Diaries?
I have not seen nor read them. I had not read the Diaries of the Vampires.
Okay.
And you've dabbled, if I recall correctly.
I've seen it. Yeah.
And in your opinion, is this show gasping for life? Does it require our expert Series CPR?
Yeah, man, we gotta. It's the series finale is in 3 weeks, so we have. It is terminal.
No time left.
We have.
You heard it here first. The Vampire Diaries is floundering, and we're gonna dive on in there and save it.
Right. So, Frank, let me just give you a quick rundown. Okay. So, the show is about a high school girl named... I don't remember her name. I think it's like Gwyneth.
Already out. Keep going.
And she goes to high school, and
already out. Keep going.
There is a boy at her high school who it turns out is a vampire, and this boy has huge eyebrows and a huge forehead, and his head looks like a big old brick, just a big old cube of a head, and he kind of looks like a wolf man, and he's got a big head.
He looks like a wolf man, but he is a vampire.
And his name is Stefan, I'm pretty sure. Now, Stefan...
We're gonna have to Americanize that.
He's American. He's a vampire who is hundreds of years old, and he falls in love with a high schooler because he is a creep. And,
yeah, that's not natural.
And you might even say it's supernatural. And so, her name's Ava? Man, so this is...
I don't like that.
She is not memorable, this character. Her name. It's Elena. And, she falls in love with this vampire boy.
A vampire old man, to be clear.
Yeah, he looks like a boy. And his name is Stefan, and he has a brother named Damon, who is also a vampire.
That's
and
hot.
He, the beginning of the show, he's a real evil monster man. Like, he murders lots of people.
Ooh.
Yeah, and like he's a bad guy and everyone
that.
hates him, like, and he commits murders and is like a legitimately heinous, detestable person. And for some reason, at some point, like she decides she loves the evil guy, and he loves her.
Oh,
and,
she switches brothers.
Yeah, and he becomes
That's
a good
that's not
guy,
Christian.
and the other guy becomes a bad guy. And vampires can do this thing where they can turn off their emotions, which makes them more evil. And I think that's how they explain why that brother was evil. And then the good brother turns off his emotions. And there's witches. And there's diaries.
There's a greater supernatural panorama at play.
Yeah, they introduced the idea of doppelgangers, where there's like these weird supernatural clones of people, and the reason these two brothers love Elena so much is because she's a doppelganger of this vampire from the 1800s that turned them into vampires.
I'm gonna pause briefly to clarify a couple questions. When you say obviously doppelganger, so this Elena chick looks identical to an old person that they loved in the past times. Now, are they using the word doppelganger? Is it like capital D, like you are a supernatural being who is a doppelganger, or just in the universe of the show there are people that are clones of each other?
I think it's the supernatural doppelganger.
So like Elena doesn't know it, but she's not just a human. She's a doppelganger.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
But like,
continue.
Everybody's got a doppelganger or something.
Everyone.
Yeah.
So the world's only half as big as it seems.
Yeah, and like, so the basically the way each season goes, from what I know, is that they introduce a bad guy who is absolutely horrible, commits so much murder, and causes a lot of death amidst teenage drama. And then, for no reason at all, somebody decides they actually fall in love with that guy or that character. And then in the next season, they're just a fine, good character, and they're all buddies. And it's like, how come we're not upset that you tried to murder?
Because people, like, they kill a man, then it's like, actually, you're okay.
Yeah, and so the diaries...
We're gonna want to clean that up.
The diaries are, I believe, Elena's ancestor was like a vampire hunter or something. And he kept a diary about these vampires, and the two brother vampires...
so there is an actual diary in world.
Yes. There's a couple. There's at least two, because it's plural diaries. She finds them and reads them, and they're like about the past.
That makes sense. I'm tracking.
Yeah.
Diaries it's very hard for them to be about the future.
Right, and the brother vampires have these special rings that let them walk around during the daytime, but if they take them off, they die.
That seems dumb.
I mean, vampires...
That seems like a gimme.
I don't...
It's like, we just have these rings.
Yeah, but I think I like it better than the sunlight just makes you sparkle.
Touche.
And so... there's just a lot of... each season's kind of, let's introduce a new bad guy vampire, and then there's ghosts and
everyone is in love with everyone else?
Yeah, all the time everyone's in love with everyone else. And of course, in the classic CW fashion, 99% of the drama is built around one character keeping a secret from another character.
Oh, it's perfect. It's the ultimate formula.
I wonder...
so it actually sounds like it'll be pretty simple to port this from CW to our NBC CW.
Yeah, NBCW. It'll be pretty easy. Now that I'm describing it, I almost feel like this is a satire, but nope, the genres listed do not say satire. So that's kind of the gist. They're on season 8. It's running down. It's almost over. I've not seen most of the show, but I've seen a lot of it, more than I'm proud of. I mean,
I would say you've seen enough based on the past couple minutes.
I've seen quite a lot of it. And so Frank, let's check for signs of life. Yeah,
let's take a pulse and look up the nose and all the other stuff doctors do
during so we've got
we've got vampire love. That's hot.
That's super hot.
We're keeping that. We got vampire brothers and love.
Hot brothers.
Excellent. Hot brother love. Perfect.
Compelling.
Now vampire love. Excellent. We're keeping it. Vampires loving minors. No, that's right out.
Right out. We're aging everyone up to 18.
Yeah, minimum. And I feel like so you're a vampire that's 150, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just pulled 150 out of my hat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's remotely correct. I don't know if we're talking centuries.
They're from the 1800s. That's all I remember.
Okay, that's about right. So you're 200 years old,
mm-hmm.
and you have 200-year-old taste. So maybe Elena, it's Elena is the minor in question.
Yeah. Although at this point
maybe
she's
Elena's
no
more
minor.
more like a soft 40.
And so now we can have like a cougar, and she's in love with an old vampire who looks like a teenage boy.
Yeah, because they really what they want is somebody that can connect with them on a mature emotional level.
Mm-hmm.
You know, mm-hmm. So they want a woman that remembers Woodstock.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, maybe we're pushing 60. You know what? We can TV magic it. I think 40's the magic. Yeah, 40's good.
I think you just say whatever you want and give, like, they have adults in the show who you would not believe are the ages they say. So we could keep that.
We could do it the other way. We can score one for the boys back home.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay,
all right,
so you've got there are sometimes vampire fights, which are pretty cool. The vampires can move very fast. They're very strong. There's a lot of blood.
What if they? Yeah, that's edgy. I mean, you can't have vampires without blood, right? Because they need it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how. See, this is where an outside perspective could potentially be good. Where what if vampires just need like some kind of go juice, but we can really stay focused on the romance portion and not so much the blood.
Oh, now is the romance portion a sign of life?
I feel like vampire loving.
No, that's true.
Is going to be a major component.
Yeah. Okay.
That'll be tough. That'll be tough.
Yeah. Okay.
So, we're operating on the assumption that we're gonna bang out this script real fast, shoot it off. Next week's episode will be ours, correct?
We got to get that renewal before the finale happens.
Yeah, exactly. So next week, maybe in 2 weeks, if there's some slowdown in the mail, the episode airing will be ours. So, Elena falls into a coma.
Oh, okay.
And soft pan, like over to the right, up to the sky. We come back, faded on the screen 30 years later.
Okay, so
20.
Yeah, so let's
20 years later.
Yeah, let's start chest compressions here and really get this thing going.
And really get it pumping.
So, yeah, she goes in coma 20 years later. Now, why a coma? Why don't we just age her up and just start it with her already awake?
We could do that. I want to be careful and make sure
we're not
that
rebooting. That's right. We're fixing an existing show. Well, so here's the thing. She's no longer a minor at this point in the show. And now she's a vampire at this point in the show.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
I'm really digging this whole Cougar Town thing we came up with, though. Okay, Elena's a vampire, and we need to have a vampire plus non-vampire love hexagon. So
you need at least 5 others.
Elena's aunt moves to town.
Okay.
And she's 40.
That happens in the show at some point.
But okay, Elena's other aunt moves to town, and she's 40. And Scott, I don't want to make this a crude podcast, but she is a good 40. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So then the vampire boys, they're talking to Elena, and they realize that when they made her a vampire at 8 years plus, she was like 25-ish, right?
Yeah, sure.
They've been talking to Elena for a while now, and they realized that they kind of just froze her as like an immature 20-year-old, and they just really need a woman with more substance. So when they through Elena start to socialize with Elena's cougar aunt, they realize that really she's who they've been looking for, and it really reignites the parallelogon. I do want to point out. I'm not being glib. I want this to be far more sides than a triangle.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
I want this to be a web of deceit and passion.
It's kind of already what they got going, so that's good for us.
There's more than 3 vampires, right?
Yes.
Total. They just keep coming to town.
Uh-huh.
So, I'm just gonna pick. I have the list of names of vampires from Wikipedia. I'm not reading anything about them, but we're gonna start pulling names.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously Damon and Stefan,
Stefan.
Obviously Damon and Stefan.
Mm-hmm.
They're in love with Elena's aunt. Is her aunt just also named Elena for expediency?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So then I'm just gonna scroll. Jeremy, he loves Aunt Elena.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna mix it up. It's 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Vicky loves Aunt Elena. Huh?
Who's Vicky?
A female name that I saw while scrolling.
Okay.
So she loves Aunt Elena.
Okay.
So they discover that really what they've been wanting is not so much a rock and bod, but a good conversation, emotional fulfillment.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole turning off your emotions thing, it's been working okay, but they're not happy.
Yeah, that makes sense. We've also got to deal with the doppelgangers.
Oh, I love it. So everyone has a doppelganger, yeah?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, it's kind of their go-to reveal. They're like, oh, and now also this person is... So, like, Elena's doppelganger we know from the beginning. And then it's like, oh, but also Stefan's doppelganger is the first immortal to ever exist. And he's a bad guy.
No.
And stuff like that. So many people got one. You got werewolves at some point.
Oh boy, that could be good.
And they got this weird rock paper scissors situation going on, where it's like werewolf bite beats vampire.
Vampire bite beats human bite beats werewolf.
I think that's correct. And if not, I think that's what we introduce in this.
Yeah, I do, because I imagine that so far in the show they haven't really established a human trying to nosh on a vampire on a werewolf.
They've never had a human try to bite a werewolf.
Yeah,
before.
So that's pretty much the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start the new episode. We're gonna say 20 years later, and it is gonna be I feel like having Aunt Elena be the violent one won't work because she's got to be the love interest. So we have just a guy, just going to town with his human mouth on a werewolf neck. And the werewolf he screams. He says no. And does he turn back into a human or does he just drop?
He dies. I would say he dies.
He dies. It's fully fatal. So really so the human bite introduces maybe the human that does the biting has to be in true love with someone. Because true love is the greatest power, obviously. Yeah, I like that a lot. It's Aunt Elena's husband, we find.
Aunt Elena, who Elena is named for.
Correct. Aunt Elena's husband is going to town on a werewolf neck.
Just eating him up.
Just going to, well, he just gets the one good bite in, and then the werewolf dies, right?
Yeah, he poofs.
But then a vampire... Oh!
Okay, buddy.
Yes! Elena comes out of the woods, kills the husband.
Oh boy, her uncle?
Wait, it was Elena's doppelganger, the bad one.
Well, so she's back from the dead. They did kill her in like season 4 or 5.
Oh.
But hey, that's kind of par for the course
for this
show.
Things happen. She's back. We're shaking everything up.
Okay.
It turns out to be Elena's doppelganger. Aunt Elena doesn't know anything about doppelgangers. She goes, my baby killed my husband. My niece killed my husband.
Yep.
So obviously, doppelganger Elena just runs right into the woods. And she's like going out of her mind, right? So then she's got a breakfast date. Aunt Elena has a breakfast date with Elena the very next day. She still shows up, I guess, right? Like the police would be done.
But yeah,
by the end of the night, dealing with all that, right?
Yeah, and well, I doubt the police would even be involved because it's the
supernatural world.
This is the drama.
Well, Yeah, that's true.
And so she shows up to breakfast, and she's like,
why?
Got this secret, but she won't talk about it.
Because she saw the werewolf, so she like doesn't even know if what she saw was real, right?
And she's just mad.
And her husband just went to town immediately on that werewolf. We're gonna find out some dark supernatural secrets about that husband.
Yes.
Over the course of the series.
The darkest.
Because he just immediately and like without pause just noshed into that werewolf.
Noshed it.
So then she's like, and Elena comes and she says, Elena, how can you even look me in the eyes after what you did?
Yeah, and Elena's
what?
Elena's
like, what? I
didn't. What?
Yeah. No, that was much better than mine.
And then, what happens?
So let's see. Elena shows her like proof. She goes, wait. At this point in the series, is Damon the boyfriend? Does she have like 4 semi-boyfriends? How's it working out?
Oof, I don't even know who she's dating right now. Oh, she might be dating. No, wait, she's dating a new one.
Is it? I'm scrolling names real quick. Is it Matt? Is it Tyler? Tyler the werewolf? Really?
Yeah, I think it might be Tyler.
Are they just intentionally did that because of Twilight, or?
Is that a thing in Twilight?
I don't know, probably.
No. Back it up. Is there a Tyler in Twilight, Frank?
No.
Oh, apparently Elena hasn't been in it since season 6.
Well, she's got to come back now. We've built this whole thing around her.
Yeah.
Alright, so,
Uh-oh, yeah, she's been locked in a warehouse sleeping, and she's there for another 60 years.
Aunt Elena wakes her up, Elena's evil doppelganger wakes her up.
Okay, so that means she kills her witch friend Bonnie, because she sleeps until Bonnie dies.
Well, okay, yeah, so evil Elena doppelganger kills Bonnie.
Oh, wait, no, she's human again. What?
That's even better!
Okay.
Yes! Okay, we're restructuring everything. Stop telling me new things about the show, by the way, because you're ruining it. So Elena's human and in a magic sleep coffin. Am I good with that?
You're great.
Bonnie's life is tied to the sleep coffin, but if Elena stays frozen for 60 years, she wakes up and Bonnie is fine.
I don't know.
I think okay, we can work with that. I'm just going to say that's how it works for now.
Okay.
Cuz honestly, people aren't paying attention. They're just going to accept what the show throws at them.
Nobody's watching it.
Yeah. That's the reason we got to bring it back.
Yeah,
right?
that's why we're resuscitating it.
Okie doke. So, Tyler the werewolf is also protecting Elena's coffin.
Yeah, like a immortal guard.
Yeah. Are werewolves immortal too?
Probably.
They are now. Make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so much better. So we actually finish out the 60 years, right? Here's what happens. Old Aunt Elena, scratch it. She is now 40-year-old Elena named after her grandmother. Eh?
And she's out of the thing? She's been
No.
sleeping?
Young Elena was born 20 years after her grandmother was locked away forever.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we're really chunking forward.
And now it's been 40 years, and she comes to town. She doesn't even know.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, this is so perfect. And she's not a doppelganger, right?
This is her.
But she does look a lot like Elena.
Yeah.
And Damon and Stefan, they notice. They notice that this is an aged what's a word that's not fermented that means what I'm thinking of? Matured.
Okay.
A version of Elena, the one they always wanted but never could get.
Okay.
So then, around the time when grandchild old Elena moves to town, young frozen Elena 60 years ago, ding, and she wakes up.
Her turkey timer pops.
It just boom, and she wakes up, right? Oh, this is so good.
This is very
Scott. Good. So then, young. Wait, hold on. We gotta figure out, because she is old, but she's younger than her grandchild. Original flavor Elena comes back to town.
Elena Senior.
Yeah, not as opposed to the senior Elena.
Is she the senior in high school?
Yeah. Okay. Original flavor Elena shows up and
she's got some gray streaks like Bride of
Well,
Frankenstein.
no, she was frozen, right? Not.
Well, yeah, but you gotta make her look a little different. Her hair's blonde now, maybe.
It's one of those white shock streaks,
Like Rogue.
like when you scream.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like Rogue from X-Men.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the shock of sleeping,
Yeah,
no one's
she's
gonna
like,
care.
Wah!
And so she like ring-a-ding-dings the vampire crew because she knows they're still around. It's only been 60 years. She like a newspaper blows into her face and she's like,
I've been asleep for over 40 years.
And then she does 60.
And then she does the math and she's like, oh, way over 40. Okay.
60, yeah. Oh, yeah, because she didn't really even finish high school, did she?
Yeah, she didn't finish high school. She just went to Vampire Town.
So then she gets out a grease pen and just does 60. Okay, 60 years.
Yep.
So she calls up the Van Boys.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Damon and Stefan start calling each other the Van Boys. It's something they picked up like a couple of decades ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want that to be in the show. I want them to call themselves that. It'll really help out like the fan blogs. The Van Boys. VAM Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you meant they had like a van.
If they call themselves that, then people on the Tumblr blogs will start saying it, and it'll really sink in.
Right. Okay, and so what have these Van Boys been up to for the past 40 years? 60 years?
That's a good one. Maybe they started a business.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
They move out to a farm. They just want a normal life.
Mm-hmm.
A dairy farm.
Oh, I think I know where you're going, but I'm holding on.
Yeah. And so they have a profitable business where they milk and bottle milk and sell milk. They milk the cows and goats. They don't, and they've got cheeses and
yogurts.
Sorry, what?
And yogurts.
And yogurts. And they once they satisfy their vampiric bloodlust by when it is time for that cow to die, they just go ahead and,
they just suck them dry.
Slurp them up.
They get all up in his guts.
Uh-huh. And they call it the Vampire Diaries.
See, I thought that might be where you were going with it, and I love every second. Oh, yes. So season 9 of the Vampire Diaries will be the Vampire Diaries subheading the Vampire Diaries.
Yeah, Vampire Diaries. You just swap those two letters and you got a whole new show.
Swap.
And then they could go literally from anywhere. And then it turns into, we turn into a business, a workplace sitcom, working at a dairy farm when your bosses are vampires.
Oh, so OG Flavor Elena needs a job, obviously.
Yep. They hire her as assistant manager of the bottling plant.
Assistant to the manager.
Whichever. They could talk about it. She works at the bottling plant.
Oh, I love it. And there's some tension there, obviously, because she, via the fact that they were both in love with her, she used to kind of run the show.
Mm-hmm.
But now the tables have turned. They've gotten pretty much over her. And in fact, they've both been talking to a new woman.
They've actually both come to accept that they don't need a woman to be happy, and they've found happiness in just their close brotherly friendship.
Their brother love.
Well,
not the creepy
Frank.
way. No, I just mean good old fashioned like wrestling.
Well, it takes all types, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do want to stress that this is not. No, Tumblr's going to do what they want with it.
Hey, can I just tell you that I only learned that yesterday I learned that the term shipping, when people ship two characters, that comes from the word relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I only just learned that yesterday, Frank.
You have so much more to learn, my friend.
I should be shamed.
So shipping's gonna happen, right? And we can't control that. We just gotta let that go. But we've kind of engineered ourselves into a corner now where old grandchild Elena is no longer needed. Maybe she moves to town to discover her roots, And And she discovers much more than her roots. She discovers her dead grandma is still alive and now 20 years younger than her.
Oh, okay.
And so that gets us a pretty good audience surrogate where original flavor Elena needs to ask her own old grandchild Elena questions about the world and what is this device
what
in
are
my
these
hands?
new flying cars?
That's a cell phone. Yeah, things like that.
There will be flying cars.
There's definitely going to be flying cars by
they got to go out and milk the hover cows.
Oh, it's science cows. Yes, and they milk we'll give it a very sly nod to the true fans. The milk will be blue.
Mm-hmm.
Only the true nerds will get
they'll
that
get the
one.
Star Wars reference.
Yeah, only the true super nerds, only the real nerds will get that.
Yes.
So
hover cows and laser goats are on this farm.
Yes, dude, they gotta farm bottles of laser, and then they plug that in like a lamp. Mm-hmm. Oh. Okay, so vampires are still immortal, werewolves are still immortal, so werewolves have shifted from things like goats and chickens to just snacking on a laser cow and letting all the refraction in their stomach.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Humans have evolved beyond the need for physical sustenance, but they still do it sometimes, but they also eat lasers.
Mm-hmm, just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
It feels tingly.
It's just right.
So maybe 80 years is a good window for Mac Revolution, obviously.
Yeah.
So maybe now humanity is mostly telepathic. And it's a kind of empathy-based emotional transference. And so now not only is old Elena like a nicer person than her grandmother, right?
Uh-huh.
Old new Elena.
Senior Elena versus Elena Senior.
Elena Senior, yeah. So Senior Elena is not only like a nicer person because she didn't have to get trapped into an eternal death coffin. But the vampires have also now begun this empathic wave projection form of communication.
Ooh.
So they feel very emotionally fulfilled being able to share their experiences and their hearts with each other and with Senior Elena, and Elena Senior is very much left out.
Yes.
And she I feel like by the end of the season, maybe she's turned evil and wants to engineer some kind of disaster that sets the world back to the way it used to be, maybe?
Yeah, she's trying to ruin that Vampire Diaries business. She's always like pooping in the milk. No,
that's gross.
That's pretty gross. She's always like punching
I feel
cows.
like she just does things like she's very rude to customers.
Yeah, and she'll get their orders wrong.
Yeah, and she purposely doesn't tell her bosses, the vampires that used to love her, about meetings that they're late.
And she emotionally abuses the animals on the farm.
Only emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
Because because she's bad, but she's not soulless.
Yeah.
Just things like a cow is getting milked for its what do we have now?
Blue milk.
It's okay. So a cow's getting that blue milk, and she's getting that blue milk out of the cow. I feel like machines would do it now.
Well, they actually use their witch friends to do it. It requires witchcraft.
They just and zap.
Yeah, and
so the lightning doesn't hurt them. It just stimulates the teats.
Yeah. And so the Vampire Diaries is actually also a magic school.
Oh, for farm wizards.
For farm wizards, yes. For agricultural wizardry.
Yes. And then Elena Senior tries to learn magic, right? And she fails at that.
Senior Elena. Oh wait, Elena Senior.
No. Elena Senior tries to learn magic to try to catch up.
She's
and
lab
fails
partners.
At that.
She's lab partners with Senior Elena, who's better at it than her.
Yes. This is perfect. And they have to go to potions together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
Jeez. Getting riled up.
So Elena Senior then she can't get her teat lightning to make the cow do the blue milk, right?
Uh-huh.
So she's gotta grip up that udder manually and cheat and try to get that milk out.
Okay. You gotta...
and the whole time she's saying like, "You're a stupid cow. You're dumb."
You stupid cow.
She's ostensibly talking to the cow, but we'll play the scene. It's she's yelling at herself.
Oh, and she doesn't believe in herself, and she doesn't believe on the cows, and that's why her magic's not working.
And the cows can sense that. Everything on the planet besides her has like a low-level empathic field.
Oh, okay.
Oh God.
Perfect.
I think I'm spent.
Man, I mean, we only had to write this one episode.
Can we go?
We've written the framework for several episodes here. We only needed to do the next one.
This is an arc.
I mean, I'm getting a pulse on this show. I think,
Yeah, it's coming back.
We've cleared the airway, I think.
Mm-hmm. Chest compressions have succeeded. We don't need defib.
We don't need defib.
What other medical words?
I mean, we're going to keep it under observation.
Obviously, it's got to stay overnight before we release it. It has to leave in a wheelchair, even though it feels fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's just policy, sir.
Yes. Okay. Man, yeah, I have nothing more to add. I think this is nailing it.
Oh, I don't know. I hope it's not beginner's luck, but
this is a very good episode of
Series CPR. We've resuscitated the Vampire Diaries.
Hey, get at us, CW. We've got a lot more where that came from.
Just hit us up.
Hire
we'll
us.
save all your shows.
We will write.
We'll save all your mediocre shows.
We will save Arrow and The Flash and...
God, we have to save Arrow, Scott.
We have to save Arrow.
Oh.
Maybe that'll be the next one. Tune in another time.
We'll save Supergirl. I don't know if that has finished moving to CW yet.
It has. It is there.
Oh.
We're going to fix all of CW. And we'll bring them over to the NBCW, where we've got NBC quality with CW abs.
Yeah, because you know what they say. NBC CW, we save shows.
That's right, the NBCW. Yeah, I mean, I say we cut it and print it.
Cut it, print it, put it in a pizza pouch. Do we say ship it?
I think we say ship it, and now it's got a new meaning for me.
Put it in a pizza pouch.
Well, great. This is a little shorter episode, I think, but I think this one was real good.
Yeah, it's the series CPR, CPR's, it's fast. It happens fast.
It is fast. CPR is not,
You're either alive or you're dead.
You can't take your time. And like most CPR efforts, we struggled a little bit at the beginning, but I think at the end we really came out with they really coughed up that choky obstruction.
Yeah, it's gone.
That's exactly right.
They hucked it up.
Awesome. All right, well,
we saved them.
We've saved the Vampire Diaries. Just wait, everybody expect the news that Vampire Diaries is getting uncanceled. And just get ready for this
Tweet
exciting
out,
new direction.
# Vampire Diaries. Get the word going.
Yep, get the Vampire Diaries going. Thank you everybody for listening. We're gonna wrap it up there. Tell all your friends, give us a rating on iTunes, tweet at us, check us out on rebootleggers.expospeak.com. We love all of you. Hi, Ned.
What's up, Ned?
Yeah, Frank, what's our password this week?
Our password this week is quite simple. It's just the word utter.
How do you specify that the utter is spelled with T's and not D's? Actually, reverse that.
You're gonna go ahead and flip that. You gotta make a light grabbing motion with your hands to indicate that you're talking about gripping up them cow bolts.
So it's an audio and visual password. I love it.
There's a visual component.
I love it. All right, well, until next time, I've been Scott Owen.
And I'm Frank Serra.
And we already did the password.
And goodbye.